Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zidane Hamid and I'm 8 years old. And today we're gonna review in episode number 3 The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Lyman Frank Baum, commonly known as L. Frank Baum. This is a very popular one, and many people have heard the name of Oz and the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Everything, L. Frank Baum, he has written at least 40 short novels on Oz. The Tin Woodman of Oz, The Scarecrow of Oz, The Patched Girl of Oz, The Glinda Oz of Oz, and many other Oz's. There are different flavors of them right now, and they were actually even containing the characters in this book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, like Tin Woodman, Scarecrow, Glinda Oz, and everything like that. That's all in this book. But there are many other short Oz books, but this book is the main plot. This one is the main one, and his first writing. It's his first work on Oz. So it first starts, as everybody knows, Dorothy is a girl who lives in Kansas, Kansas is in America, and she is blown away with the tornado to a big land of Oz. And with that there was a crunch which was not an ordinary crunch, a crunch that was so loud that Dorothy might have been hurt if she wasn't lying on the bed. Such a crunch. What was it? The Wicked Witch of the East. And there were 4 parts. The Good Witch of the South, the Good Witch, Good Witch of the South, Good Witch of the North. There were also the Bad Witches, Bad Witch of the West, Bad Witch of the East. Bad Witch of the West killed. That means she set free the Munchkins, who are under the control of that big, gruesome, wicked witch of the East. The Munchkins, their favorite color was blue, and in the country of the Quadlings, the South ones, red, in the West, yellow, and in the Emerald City, green. We're going to talk about Emerald City later on. And the Witch of the North greets Dorothy because she has been given a message that the Witch of the East has been killed. And the Witch of the East, she had these silver shoes which are having a charm. But now the Wicked Witch of the East, she didn't have no blood, so she just dried up in the sun. She dried up. That's when Dorothy takes the shoes. It was so fit that it was even made for her. It was so fit to her. So she sets out, and on the way she meets a scarecrow. Now the scarecrow, that's a very useless man, a thing which is just made of born to scarecrows. Scarecrows, hey, that's the word, scarecrow. Scarecrows. You have to scare crows. You will make them frightened, frightening crows. That's where the name comes from, scarecrows. So this scarecrow, he was filled with barn, and the wicked witch, the Wicked Witch of the East was killed, and the Good Witch of the North, said Dorothy to go to the Emerald City. Oz, the great wizard, is in the title. He will help you. We're not going to say he or she, because at this point nobody knew who was Oz. They never saw him. Nobody ever saw him. Even the guardians of his palace never saw him. That's Oz, such a mysterious person. Now, that's the big point. There's the adventure starting, and now Dorothy wants to go back to Kansas, and then she thinks that the Oz will help. Oz will help her get back to Kansas. Now, on the way, the scarecrow, he wants a brain. His head is filled with hay, and he wants a brain. So he wants to go to the Oz too to get his brains. Now, on the way, they meet a tin woodman. Now, see a tin woodman. Now, this was actually a real man who was actually made out of tin, because he was a real man. But the Wicked Witch of the East made his legs being cut by his axe and every other part, and then he was mended and made with tin. Anyway, he had an axe, so that was a big addition because there was some trouble later on, and this axe that helped them. While traveling on, they meet the last member of their party. This is the lion who is covered. Now the Tin Woodman wants a heart. Then he will go to the Oz and wants a heart. Now this lion, he is very coward. He's a cowardly lion, and he wants courage from the Oz. So he has to go to Underl City too. Now this is a really, now after this comes the real burden after they meet each other, and now they want to go to the Oz. They want to go to the Oz so they can get whatever they needed. Now each of the demands seem tough. Now they go to this place where the Kalidas. What is a Kalida? Now let me just define what is a Kalida. A Kalida is a beast which is a beast with a bear's body and a lion's head. Now this was what is coming to them, and they cut a log, and then the Kalidas fall into the stones. That's actually halfway through the Emerald City. The road to it is paved by yellow bricks, uneven. And they then go through the road of Emerald City. Sometimes it is dark, sometimes it is charming when they come through a deadly poppy field. This deadly poppy field is filled with poppies. Now see, poppy, they have a good smell, but everybody knows. And a person faints by this strong smell of the poppies. And that's what happened to them. And now over here, the lion fell down because they know the lion is too big for them to carry, and then they have to leave him. But then over here, a wild cat comes, and this wild cat is chasing a mouse. And this Tin Woodman kills the wild cat, and this mouse is actually the queen of the field mice who helps. She brings 1,000 mice, and they lift the lion out of here. Now this is not the only troubles coming for them. There is a big trouble coming after. Then they reach the Oz, the city of Oz, Emerald City. The color was green, trees green, face green. Now let's not say face green, color green, everything green. But when you get out of the city, it was white. Everything became white. It became into any other color because it was only green inside the city. That's what Oz built. So they go to Oz, and everybody asks that, give me some brain, heart, and courage, and get me back to Kansas. And every time Oz appears in a different, but he says, not until you defeat the wicked witch of the West. Defeated East. What about the West? The wicked witch of the West is still there. They go out, but then the wicked witch had one eye. The wicked witch of the West had one eye, powerful as a telescope. Saw those travelers and saw, they have no use. And she was like, now she blown a whistle, and a whole pack of wolves came. Go and tear them to death. Tin Woodman saw it, just chopped all of their heads out. Then that frustrated the wicked witch of the West more hardly. She tore her hair and told to some crows, twist them to death. Pluck their eyes to death. But the scarecrow twisted the crow's necks he killed them. Now see, now the wicked witch of the West calls honeybees. But this time the Tin Woodman was there. And he was such a strong old fellow that even their stings broke. The stings of the bees broke, and then that was the end of the bees because they can't live with the stings. Now, here comes the biggest burden. They are using the golden cap. The wicked witch of the West used the golden cap. You can only use it 3 times. You can only use the powers of it 3 times. Yet very important. This is about the winged monkey. The winged monkey, they are big monkeys with wings. Ha ha! And you can only use it 3 times. First, the wicked witch of the West to make the Winkies their slaves. Second, to drive Oz out of the land. Now the third event, to bring these travelers to slavery. She didn't want to use it because it is such an important use. It's such an important use. You can only use 3 times. It's like once in a lifetime opportunity. So then she just, all her powers were exhausted, all her powers were depleted, no more power remaining. So she just thought that she'll use the golden cap. Then he said the magical words for the golden cap, for the winged monkeys. They came and took them and imprisoned them. That was the end of the winged monkeys, and they just flew away because you could only use them 3 times, and this was the 3rd time. Now, Dorothy couldn't get hold of it, and when the Wicked Witch of the West knew that she didn't know about the charm of the Wicked Witch of the East shoes, she thought, I'll take it. She put some metallic ball, invisible, and here came Dorothy and crashed, fell with a bang, and one shoe came, and the Wicked Witch of the West took it. Now, Dorothy, being angry, splashed the water over the Wicked Witch of the West. That was that. Wicked witches, they are afraid of water, terribly afraid of water. They never take a bath. They never take it, they never wash their hands, never wash their face. They don't even drink it. Because the big burden of the life, the big burden comes, they will melt. And that's what happened to the Wicked Witch of the West. Melted and shapeless like a brown mass of brown sugar. Think of that. Now, they go back. Oz over here thinks, have you defeated them? Then Dorothy says, I melted them with a bucket of water. So, now he says that, no, I'm not going to give you, I must have a time to think it over one day. But then they say, what? No, and then they were so angry that they thought that Oz is a false villain. Now this is the big story, the big climax comes over here, where Toto tips over the screen. Dorothy's dog Toto tips over a screen on the corner and came over here. Although Oz they thought was invisible, came over here, a little dwarf. And you know who was it? You will never believe it. It was Oz. It was Oz. Now see, after all, Oz is a false wizard. He showed him their tricks. What was his tricks? How did he shown them that? How did he make the lovely lady? How did he make the big fireball? How did he make the big beast? He just showed all these tricks. After all, we conclude Oz is a false one. And now here comes that he actually then even gives the brain and the heart first. He gives the scarecrows the brains. How he does it? Look, he just takes a mixture of barn and it's mixed with pins and needles, and then he puts in the scarecrow's head, fills it and closes the top, and puts some straw in the remaining place to keep it from spoil, keeping for leaking out, keep it from not spoiling the head of the scarecrow. Now they saw that why is his head bulged out so much. Now the lion just quickly answered that's the proof he's sharp. Why is the needles and pins sticking out? Because that's the proof he's sharp. Next was the Tin Woodman. Now the Oz cut out a silver silk heart and put it in the Tin Woodman. That was the Tin Woodman wish. And the lion, he gave a bottle of courage, yellow liquid in a yellow dish, and the lion drank it. Now Dorothy's turn came and he didn't know about it. He was a balloon, so he thought that I can make a balloon. And when the balloon was there, he didn't want to show it to the other people because the people would see him and his life would be spoiled. So he said, I'm going to meet another wizard. Now he also wants to go to the Kansas. Now Dorothy didn't see Toto, and Toto was out chasing a cat. And then Dorothy grabbed Toto, but by then it was too late. The Oz, he was in the balloon, but all the balloon strings cut out and it went away. Now I don't know what happened to the oats, but we know what happened to Dorothy. Maybe he must have reached Omaha, or he was from Omaha, or anywhere else he must have reached. You will never know what will happen in a hot air. Then she wants to go to the good witch of the south, because the good witch, she's a good witch. So she goes to a good witch of the south. Now, the good witch of the south, now she has to go through a big vast majority of troubles. First they go through the forest, which is by the trees which live. The first row of the trees only. They are the policemen of the forest. They attack, but the Tin Woodman chops them off in one place. Now, here comes, before they go to the country of the Quadlings. The Winkies were in the west, the Munchkins were in the east, Emerald City, and now, country of the Quadlings, which was red, was their favorite color, like Emerald City, green, the country of the west, yellow, and the Quadlings, that's red, Munchkins, blue. That's what happened. Now, we go in the country of the south. But before that, there is this Hammerhead Hill, which is having with so many rocks. They saw a man which has no arms coming out, and he says, "Don't pass over it." And before every rock is this armless man. Scarecrow, thinking that how can such an armless creature do any harm to me, goes. But then, too late, swiftly, like a cannon, the man shot out and hit the Scarecrow, and he went tumbling down the hill. The armless man said, "It isn't easy as you think." That's what happened. But at last they call the winged monkey. Oh, I forgot about them, the winged monkeys. First time Dorothy used to go to Emerald City after the poppy field incident. After defeating the wicked witch of the west, she took it from her when she was melted. There was one in the cupboard, and she took it, and then she went first to go till the Emerald City, because there was no road between. Second, to go to Kansas, but that was all a waste, because no winged monkey ever went to Kansas, and they will never cross the desert between there. And now the third one to go over the hills of the Hammerheads. He goes, and that was the last time they could use this beautiful charm. Now, they came, before that there was a forest. Now the lion becomes the king of the beasts after fully in courage. There is this big spider, and all the animals of the forest said that you will be your king if you defeat the spider. He defeats the spider and becomes the king of the beasts, the king of the forest. But he has to go first to accompany Dorothy in the journey to the witch of the south. Now they go, and the witch of the south says, "Oh yes, you have made a big mistake. Before reaching there was this China country. Everything was made out of China. It's a fabric. People made out of China, cows made out of China, no taller than them. That was the place where they went. After that, they went, okay, over here there was a clown named Mr. Joker. And he, tried to stand on his head many times, that he even cracked himself into 100 pieces. Now, he said one big rhyme, and it is, "My lady fair, why do you stare at poor old Mr. Joker? You look like if you had eaten up a poker." And now there's one princess in the China country, and she says that, "What are you doing? These are guests, and you have to have some respect, Mr. Joker." And now Mr. Joker, he has a crack in his head. He is very silly, and he only makes things rhyming. And he said, "Well, that is respect I expect." Now, when they go over the China country, they go to the witch of the south, the country of the Quadlings. Over here in the country of the Quadlings, they go, and the witch of the south says that this silver shoes can help you. It can take you anywhere. Just take 3 clicks, and if I can help you, you give me this golden cap. She gives it and tells everything how she used it 3 times, and then the wicked witch of no, pardon me, not the wicked witch of the south. This was the good witch. The good witch of the south says that now with the winged monkeys I will carry the lion to the forest, the scarecrow to Emerald City, the Tin Woodman to the country of the West, Scarecrow ruler of Emerald City, the Tin Woodman the ruler of the West, the country of the West, and then the lion to the Grand Old Forest. But by the silver shoes, Dorothy takes 3 clicks by the heels and then says, "Take me home to the Kansas Paris." And she goes, but you know what happened? Now she can never go to the land of Oz because the silver shoes fell out into the desert, lost forever. Then she found herself on the Kansas Paris, where at last she got home after a big adventure after enduring such big circumstances. If she knew about those silver shoes, she might have gone to her aunt M the first very day. But with that way, the Scarecrow would be stuck on the Munchkin farmer's pole forever. The Tin Woodman growing till the end of the world, just staying there rusted. And the lion would remain a covered forever. And by the way, the Scarecrow wouldn't become the ruler of Emerald City. The Tin Woodman wouldn't become the ruler of the country of the West, and the lion wouldn't get courage and defeat a big giant Arkomantula in the middle of nowhere. And it was a good thing she didn't know about this charm, because she helped 3 people along her way and got many and defeated and helped the people of the countries of the West and the countries of the East by defeating the wicked witches of the West and the East. So there was it was a good thing that Dorothy didn't know about the charms. Anyway, she found herself on the Kansas Paris, where from all the drama began, from carrying from a cyclone and fell into the land of Oz. What a magical adventure. So if you want to see more videos, go to our website zidaneham.com or even log into my Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll be waiting for your feedback. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.